Elena felt lost, overlooked at work, misunderstood at home, a shadow in her own life. Her ideas, once met with enthusiasm, now faced indifference. Her colleagues seemed distant, their laughter excluding her. Evenings brought little solace. Conversations with her partner felt strained, their connection fading like an old photograph. A deep loneliness settled upon her, a heavy cloak she couldn't seem to shed. Work became a minefield. Every interaction a potential slight, every smile a possible facade. She retreated further into herself. Lunch breaks were spent alone, lost in books, seeking refuge in the words of others. Her partner, sensing her withdrawal, mirrored her silence. The space between them widened, filled with unspoken words and unaddressed hurts. Elena felt adrift, her compass shattered, her once familiar world now strange and unwelcoming. One night, gazing at the moon, she witnessed a lunar eclipse. The celestial dance of light and shadow mirrored her own inner turmoil. As the moon disappeared, swallowed by darkness, a strange sense of peace washed over her. In that eclipse, she saw her pain reflected. But she also saw the promise of re-emergence. The eclipse was not an ending, but a transformation. A quiet strength began to stir within her, a spark of resilience ignited by the celestial display. Elena started to embrace the solitude. She found solace in long walks, her thoughts her only companions. She enrolled in a pottery class, her hands finding expression in the cool clay. Each moulded shape, a whisper of her rediscovering self. The silence that once felt suffocating became a source of strength. In the quiet, she began to hear her own voice again. Her days were no longer spent seeking validation from others, but in nurturing the garden of her own soul. Section 5. Seeds of Transformation. At work, a subtle shift occurred. Elena spoke less, but when she did, her words held a newfound clarity. She no longer sought approval, but shared her ideas with quiet confidence. Her colleagues, sensing the change, responded with a newfound respect. Her relationship remained a work in progress, but Elena brought the same honesty to her conversations with her partner. The seeds of transformation she had planted in the fertile ground of her solitude were beginning to sprout. Section 6. A new light emerges. The lunar eclipse had passed, leaving the moon bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. It was as if the universe had pressed a reset button, allowing the moon to shine anew, free from the shadows that had momentarily obscured its brilliance. The night sky, now clear and serene, seemed to whisper promises of new beginnings and fresh starts. Elena, too, seemed to radiate a different light. Her transformation was not just physical, but deeply emotional and spiritual. She had faced her own eclipse, a period of darkness and doubt, but now emerged with a newfound clarity and purpose. Her smile, once hesitant, now beamed with confidence and assurance. Her colleagues sought her insights, drawn to her quiet wisdom. In meetings, her voice carried a weight it hadn't before, and her ideas were met with respect and admiration. She had become a guiding light in her professional sphere, illuminating paths for others to follow. Her online presence, once a space of seeking validation, became a source of inspiration for others. She shared her journey, her struggles and her triumphs with an honesty that resonated deeply. Her posts were no longer about seeking approval, but about sharing her truth and encouraging others to do the same. Followers were drawn to her authenticity, finding solace and strength in her words. Her journey of self-discovery resonated deeply with those who had lost their own way. They saw in her a reflection of their own struggles and a beacon of hope that they, too, could find their light. Her journey of self-discovery resonating deeply with those who had lost their own way. She became a symbol of resilience and transformation, showing that even in the darkest times, there is always a way to find the light within. Elena hadn't sought the spotlight, preferring the quiet corners where she could reflect and grow. But in embracing her own shadow, she had become a beacon for others. Her journey was a testament to the power of vulnerability and the strength found in facing one's fears. But in embracing her own shadow, she had become a beacon for others. Her story was a reminder that true light comes not from avoiding the darkness, but from facing it head-on and emerging stronger and brighter than before. Section 7. Grace in the Shadows. There were still moments of doubt, flickers of the old insecurities. These moments would creep in unexpectedly, like shadows at dusk, casting a veil over her newfound confidence. Elena would sometimes find herself questioning her worth, her decisions, and her path. The mirror reflected not just her face, but the echoes of her past fears and uncertainties. But now, Elena faced them with a newfound grace. She had learned to embrace these shadows as part of her journey, not as obstacles, but as stepping stones. Each step she took down the street, each smile she allowed herself, was a testament to her resilience. She understood that these moments of doubt were not setbacks, but opportunities to grow stronger. She learned to forgive herself, to acknowledge that her journey was uniquely her own. Sitting by the window, she would often reflect on her past, not with regret, but with a sense of understanding and compassion. Her journal became a sanctuary where she could pour out her thoughts, her fears, and her dreams. Through writing, she found clarity and peace. There was no need to compare, no need to explain. Elena realized that her path was hers alone, and it was beautiful in its own right. Standing in a crowd, she no longer felt the pressure to conform or to seek validation. Instead, she found solace in her individuality. In nature, she discovered a profound connection with herself and the world around her. She understood that true strength lay not in the absence of shadows, but in the courage to face them and emerge whole and healed on the other side. The forest edge symbolized the boundary between her past and her future. With determination, she stepped forward, embracing the light and the shadows as integral parts of her story. Her calm demeanor was a reflection of her inner peace and strength. Life, she realized, was not about avoiding the darkness, but about learning to dance with the light within. As she danced in the field at sunset, she felt a profound sense of freedom and joy. The sunlight on her face was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a glimmer of hope. With her eyes closed, she embraced the warmth and the light, knowing that she had the strength to face whatever came her way. Section 8. The Strength of Stillness. Her relationship with her partner remained a work in progress. Yet, in the stillness they had created, a new kind of intimacy began to blossom. It wasn't built on grand gestures, but on shared silences, on the quiet comfort of simply being present with one another. Elena learned that love, like nature, had its seasons. There were times for blooming and times for lying fallow, times for growth and times for stillness. And in that stillness she found a strength that no storm could shake. Section 9. Finding the Light. Elena's journey was far from over. She had walked many paths, each one teaching her something new about herself and the world around her. Life, she knew, would continue to test her, to present her with new challenges and unexpected turns. Each obstacle was a lesson, each challenge an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. But she had found her compass. It was not a physical object, but a sense of inner direction, a guiding light that came from within. It didn't point north or south, but inward, towards the unwavering light of her own spirit. This light was her true north, her inner sanctuary where she found peace and clarity. And in that light, she saw the beauty of imperfection, the strength of vulnerability. She learned to embrace her flaws, to see them not as weaknesses but as unique aspects of her being, and the boundless capacity for love and forgiveness that resided within her heart. She realized that true strength lay in the ability to forgive, to love unconditionally, and to extend a helping hand to others. Like the moon, she had emerged from the eclipse, forever changed. The shadows had left their mark, but they had also illuminated her path, showing her the way forward. forever marked by the shadows, yet radiating a light that was entirely her own. This light was a testament to her resilience, her courage, and her unwavering spirit. It was a light that would guide her through the darkest of times, a beacon of hope and strength for herself and for others.